Oiler with the pick. They win the World Cup in 2006. Sidney Crosby, the golden goal.
Welcome back to the Gameplan Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Porter. With me tonight, Remy and Connor. Thank you guys for coming out. It's been a minute since our last pod, but we're back. A lot of sports stuff been going on. A lot of games to get through, starting with the NHL playoffs. Round 2 starts tomorrow. Florida Panthers, Toronto Maple Leafs, a rematch of 2 years ago. What do we think? Remy?
I'm so excited. I cannot wait for the Leafs to win this. My prediction, we're winning 4-2 in the series. I know a lot of haters out there are going to say, oh, it's going to be a clean sweep for the Panthers, but I'm taking the Leafs 4-2 in this series. I'm going to say right now, what's going to happen is it's going to go 1-1, start off, Panthers are going to take it 2-1, and then the Leafs are going to go all the way.
Yeah, well, we watched all the games go down, and I think the Leafs, honestly, they were up 3-0 in the sense almost came back and took it away, but I think we're all too surprised on the outcome. They won 4-2. Going on with Connor, what do you think is going to happen in this series? Who do you think is going to take it?
Although we've seen this series before.
That was the big point I was going to bring up.
Obviously, the Panthers won the last time, but this is, as I've mentioned before, this is the best team the Leafs have had since the '93 team. Don't ask me who's on that team.
I think I've asked you that question before, and you couldn't give me an answer.
But this team, although we should have won in 4 games, I think it's good that we didn't win in 4 games, so we don't have our heads held high. We're not so cocky going into the Panthers game. So I'm glad that we took 2 extra games to win this series. But I think the Leafs are going to win this game. We just have such a nice roster.
Do you think it's going to go the distance? That's what that's what the big debate is. I think this series is going to go the distance.
I think each team will win their home games. So I think home games will be the deciding factor, will be the X factor.
Well, the Leafs have home ice advantage, so the first 2 games is in Toronto.
Yeah, so first 2 games go to us. Second,
go to Florida.
But eventually Game 7, we'll have the home ice. So I think we'll win this game. Our team, we have such a great team. Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner. Mitch Marner is really taking the lead this year.
Yeah, it's a good team.
Oh, yeah.
The Leafs with home ice advantage really have to take full force and take the first 2 games. The Panthers are only trying to win 1. When you go into an opposition arena, your goal is to only get 1 game. The Leafs have to take a stand and go up 2-0 before they go into the opposition arena. I want to talk about Matthews real quick. This guy needs to step up. We've seen Matthews in the series against the Sens, and he didn't really have to do too much because it's the Sens. We have other players who will play well and beat them overall, which they did. But now you're playing the Florida Panthers. Now you're playing the defending Stanley Cup champs. We saw what happened with them when we played 2 years ago. We want Florida, and they lost. Matthews needs to step up. He performed well in the first couple of games against that series that we just saw, but he needs to step up. We're seeing players like Matthew Nyes play really well. William Nylander's playing really well. But Matthews, who has been very, very subpar in the playoffs recently, which we've all seen, he really needs to step up to the plate. He has to be the captain of this team, and he has to take full force. And I'm expecting at least 2 points per game from Matthews. He really hasn't put that on the show.
I'm not too worried about Matthews. I think this is just going to motivate him even more. We have, again, like you just said, we have a great supporting roster. So if Matthews doesn't play well, it's not like we're too worried about that because we do have Nylander, Nyes, all these other players to help score goals and make plays for us. So I think Matthews, he does understand that he's not playing as well he should be because he was MVP of the NHL a few years ago.
And he is, I just want to say quickly, but he is putting 7 points in 6 games, which is obviously way more for him. But if you've seen what he's done in past years, he's had 9 points in less games, 5 points, 11 points in the same amount of games. His production has to increase. I'm not saying he's playing bad up as a regular standard, but because it's Austin Matthews and his potential and how he's being paid, he really needs to step it up.
But I think you could look at him as like a red herring kind of thing, like, all the distractions or all the attention's going right towards Austin Matthews. So all these other players will be open for more plays instead of just Austin Matthews. So maybe he's just being a distraction while, Marner, Nyes gets these plays and, they're double teaming Austin Matthews whenever he gets the puck or whatnot. Like, I think he's just trying to distract the other team because everyone around the league knows how good Austin Matthews is. So he's just giving his team some more options and more plays to.
Another factor, and Remy might agree with me this, Anthony Stolarz, who played very, very well against the Sens in this series, which honestly surprised me. I had in the other pod, I thought goaltending was going to be the factor to the Sens' benefit, but this guy is playing super, super well, and he has to keep that up. Last game, 100%. He has to keep it up. He had a .913 save percentage, a little iffy in the last couple games, but he played really, really well. He has to be able to keep this at a high level. I don't want to say he's hot, but he's in that. He's been warmed up in a series. You don't want to have to take him out and then put in a backup who hasn't touched a puck in the postseason so far.
Yeah. I completely agree with you, Sean. The reason why I personally think that the Leafs won that first round and got by is because of Stolarz.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to add to that. I think a big reason why we got past that first round, as you said, the X factor is going to be the goalies. I think Allmark didn't play to his standards.
No, I don't think either. I was very surprised on the mediocrity he just played. I thought, we've Vezina winner. We know how great he is, the experience he has in the playoffs. I thought he was going to play a lot better. Obviously, he doesn't have an amazing team, but he still has a good team in front of him, so I thought he was really going to steal the show. I just also want to point out before we go on to the next series, as I'm watching this live game, the Blues and the Jets are going in overtime.
Yeah,
so
that's why we don't make early predictions.
That's why I said I wanted to watch it before we started recording. Up 3-1 with 2 minutes left, and they come back. I just wanted to shout that game out, so still don't know who's going to move on from that. Hopefully, as Canadians, we're hoping for the Jets.
Winnipeg.
Next series, Dallas and Avalanche. The Stars took out Avalanche 4-2 win yesterday in Game 7. I was very surprised. I thought I had Avalanche as one of my top teams to take the Stanley Cup home, and then the Stars said, "Get the fuck out of here."
Bro was glazing the Avalanche.
Because Nathan McKinnon, Ryan Lindgren, I thought Josh Manson. They have obviously a great goalie, Mackenzie Blackwood, didn't have a great game, but he's been playing pretty decent all series long. And then Mikko Rantanen, the guy they traded away, one of their number 2 option, they trade him away. Comes back in Game 7, drops a hat trick. See you later. On to the next round. I don't know. I know you guys didn't have the Avalanche on the hype as I did, but I was really surprised by the outcome.
No, listen, I did have the Avalanche at the hype where you did, but just not where you did, because you said they're going to go to the finals.
I had them as one of the Stanley Cup favorites.
Oh, if the Maple Leafs meet them in the finals, what are they going to do? They've got Nathan McKinnon.
That's a valid response.
First round, they were knocked out. But I do believe that they should have gone farther. They do have Makar. They have McKinnon. They have such a great team. I think they still have Kadri as well too, right?
Colorado?
Yeah, they have Kadri.
No.
Oh, well,
that's okay. That's okay. You tried.
When they won the whole thing, they did have Kadri, so it was a big thing. Nonetheless, I think the Colorado Avalanche should have at least gone to the second round here.
Well, going on
such a great year.
Going on to who they're going to play, either the Jets or the St. Louis Blues. Who do you have as favorites? Who do you think's going to win between the Stars and whoever they play?
I have Winnipeg. They have such a great.
Their goalie is
team.
top 3 in the Hart MVP nominations. He was one of the best goalies, if not the best goalie, all regular season. He struggled this series, but you're putting up him. They have a solid team. But the Stars, the way they've played against the Colorado team, I would not be surprised. Not only if this series goes 7 games, but if the Stars do come out on top.
Yep, and yeah, you did say that the goalie for the Winnipeg Jets is going to get is top 3.
He's one of the finals.
Top 3. But yeah, this series has just made me feel different about that opinion because, wow, just so many goals have gone in for St. Louis, and it's not something you'd expect from a top 3 MVP goalie. Like, goalies never really win MVP, and then...
No, the last goalie to win MVP was Carey Price.
Yeah, and they're going to Game 7. That really shouldn't happen if you're top 3 in MVP considerations. But you never know. Pressure gets to you, so stuff happens.
Remy, who do you think you'd have on top of that series?
I'm taking.
Depending on, of course, how this game ends, who the Stars will play. But I don't know if you have the Stars winning it at all.
I think the Stars will win for sure. I'm taking them.
Yeah, I think that if they go on the same run they've been going on, if they play really, really well at a high level, I think they could easily make it to the conference finals. Hurricanes,
I think they're playing with a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, they're definitely playing with the chip on their shoulder. Hurricanes and Capitals, Game 1 is Tuesday. Capitals, obviously, we know, beat the Canadians. Hurricanes beat the Devils, which I was surprised. I thought Hurricanes would come out on top on that, or I thought Devils would come out on top of that series.
It'd be nice to see a legend get one more ring before he gets his send-off. Also, I think Strome on the team which Strome is doing well. Is it him on the Panthers?
Well, it was Dylan Strome who's on the team.
Yeah,
he's on the
Dylan
Capitals,
Strome has been playing really well this year, so I like to see him as someone who's from Canada too. I think he's from Mississauga, so he also works he goes to my golf course too. So.
Quick plug,
Credit Valley.
He's got 9 points in 5 games right now in this year's, which is insane. It's insane. And he's coming off a point per game. He had 82 points this regular season. That's a career high for him. he spent this is third year with Washington, and he just kept getting better. He just kept getting better every year. Obviously, playing with his good team, and Alexander Ovechkin is going to help that. But he's been having really, really solid of a postseason, regular season. So again, as Canadians, hopefully he keeps this up at a high level. But again, the Hurricanes are another beast.
I'd love to see the local legend, but local hockey guy get the ring too, and with Alex Ovechkin as well. And just, I like the Capitals as well. They've had Ovechkin their whole career, so I want them to proceed.
Yeah, it's going to be a good series for sure. Another one that we're going to keep our eye on: Edmonton Oilers, Golden Knights. I have Oilers winning this in 5 games. Call me crazy.
I mean, not crazy because they did go to the finals, but Vegas did go to the finals.
Vegas, won the cup 2 years ago. They are a beast of a team, but I really think Connor McDavid is going to step up. I think Draisaitl is going to step up. I think their goaltender is going to step up and play his best series. I really think Edmonton. Think about this. When you go to the finals and you lose, especially down as they were and come back and go to a Game 7 and lose, you're playing with that mindset like, yo, we went there. We know how it feels to lose. We want to get back there, and we want to win this time. So their mentality, they were down 2-0 to the Kings, came back, won 4 straight. I think the mentality of this team, I think the mentality of Connor McDavid is going to come out full circle, and I really think they're going to take this series. It's going to be a grindy series, but I think they're going to take it in 5 or 6 games.
Yeah, so I don't think your take is crazy because, again, they have I'm going to butcher the name.
It's Draisaitl.
And they also have McDavid, like one of the best players in the whole league. And
Connor Brown's been playing very well. Zach Hyman, obviously we know. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who's been very well.
Yep.
I think Calvin Pickard, who didn't play amazing in this series, I think he needs to step up as well to be able to fortify this team in the back end to make them go even further.
Yeah, and I also think the Edmonton Oilers don't want to get yelled at by McDavid again.
I think we've all seen that behind the locker room clip.
Yeah. So when they're down 2-0, they probably got a little pep talk in the locker room. And that's
so I'm sure that's one of the reasons they turned around. That's what we got. Obviously, pending the series going on between the Jets and the Blues, that would round it out. It's gonna be good hockey.
Winnipeg. I'm predicting Winnipeg.
It's gonna be a good hockey. The Toronto game is tomorrow night at 8. I'm sure.
Not only is Winnipeg gonna win against the Blues, but they're gonna win against the Stars.
Okay.
Heard it here first.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see how much that fruition comes in. I want to talk about the Penguins real quick because Pittsburgh Penguins just fired their coach last week. I think it was Mike Sullivan. He spent 10 years with the Pittsburgh Penguins. First 2 years in the league, 2 Stanley Cups. Not easy to do when your first-time head coach, comes in, wins 2 Stanley Cups with great teams, spends 10 years there. He's been through cups. He's been through somewhat of a rebuild. I really respect Mike Sullivan. I think Sullivan will go down as if he's not already. And Penguins fans, correct me if you think otherwise. I think he is arguably the greatest coach in Penguins history. Obviously, you have Bob Johnson, who had the 92 team, or the 91 team, sorry. Bowman, who led the 92 team. He's one of the greatest coaches we've seen out of this franchise, just stepping into the role. And Jim Rutherford, who's the former GM, who put him in that position, did a really good job. He knew what he was going to do. Mike Sullivan, I've seen rumors that he might go to New York. So best of luck on his career. I really respect Mike Sullivan for what he did for our franchise. And yeah,
I mean, I'd agree with that. If he wins 2 rings in the
his first 2 seasons he won Stanley Cup. He's never won a Jack Adams. So imagine that a coach coming in his first 2 seasons wins 2 Stanley Cups back to back, doesn't win the Jack Adams, which is the Coach of the Year award.
Yeah, and I don't think it's his fault that he has to coach a retirement team this year.
No.
Once he had a young Sidney Crosby, a young Evgeny Malkin.
Well, I'm gonna qualify him as young. This is he first came in 2016, 2017.
Okay, well,
so they were in their early 30s.
Yeah, okay, but still.
The way he came in and was able to handle the veteranness of Sidney Crosby and Malkin, Letang, and them. Obviously, Sidney Crosby, one of the most poised players in NHL and entire any sports league. So what he was able to do for them, Mike Sullivan, salute to you, arguably the greatest coach in Penguins franchise history.
I mean, I'm not a big coach person because, if you have great players on your team like Crosby and Malkin, just like the Joe Mazzulla debate.
I feel that.
Like, all they got to do is just play their game, and they're probably going to win.
But before that, they went through so many coaches before they found the one to actually win. In that 16 season, there was a point where it wasn't even sure if they were going to make the playoffs. You bring in Sullivan, boom, you're just like that. It's like, what would the Bulls do without Phil Jackson to incorporate the triangle, which we know now is what they used. So he came in, a new scheme,
But that was a
Okay.
new play. The triangle was a new play that never was.
Well, yeah, he
seen
brought
before,
like a
except for the
new
Celtics.
coaching scheme to the Penguins. Is basically what he's trying to say. He didn't like invent something like that, but he brought in a new scheme and obviously a different play style for the Penguins team who wanted to win the
Okay,
Stanley
yeah,
Cup.
and I
So
get that.
salute off to you, Mike Sullivan. NFL draft also went by 2 weeks ago, I think. Now we're gonna scan this real quick. Remy, what were your thoughts on the draft? I know you're a Bills fan. If you saw who they drafted, obviously Shedeur is obviously a big question mark on how he fell to the 4th round. But who's your biggest takeaway? Who you think came out on top for that draft?
I'm really happy with the Cam Ward draft.
Yeah, the
And-
Titans, the Cam Ward, that he's going to be a superstar for them, I think.
Oh, I'm so excited to see what he does because I saw this video today where it's Cam Ward side by side in a training camp video with Shedeur Sanders. They're both training together, and I could just see the pop in Cam Ward with his throw. It's like it's a pop. It's like it's a direct hit. It's like with Shedeur Sanders, I can see why he got dropped so low. And I know I'm gonna get hate for this, but it's like I can see it because Shedeur Sanders, his pass just isn't it. I feel like he's not gonna be a good presence in the locker room, and I just don't see. And I'm not surprised he didn't get drafted that highly because I feel like the reason why he got drafted was because of his father's status.
I think
NFL.
the big reason and the big question mark on that was just the ego problem. You know, in any sport, if you're
Yeah.
going to have such a big ego, and we've seen it before, it's going to take something really to calm that down. You know, it's going to take a good coach. It's going to take a good locker room players. And I think Dion was like, no, we don't want you to draft my son. I think a lot of that obviously might have something to do with it. It could be the GMs sending him a message like, yo, you want an ego? Okay, you go to the 4th round, you might not play. So
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think his ego's got to be in
wouldn't
check.
Wouldn't you
but
want an
see,
ego
the Browns
player?
Go ahead, Remy.
I was just saying the Browns also too. They're not a winning franchise, so he's already getting humbled as it is by being sent there and drafted there. Like they're not a winning franchise. They don't have any help right now. He's sort of their rookie to build around per se. So it's like I feel like he's already being humbled by getting drafted to them.
Yeah, no. Like I said, if you're gonna have an ego like that, and respect to Shedeur, you know he had a great college season from what we watched. Shout out to him. I think he's going to be a good quarterback, but I don't know if he's going to live up to the hype that he set for himself.
But wouldn't you want someone with a big ego on your team to lead the team to something?
No,
though?
because then that causes locker room
No.
cancer, and that's a poison
Yeah.
in the locker room. Because think
But-
about it, you have a rookie quarterback who's never stepped foot on an NFL field, and he's coming in like, yeah, I'm the best player. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get us this Super Bowl. I'm gonna win. And confidence is good. I'm
Yeah,
not
it's just
I'm not saying confidence, but there's a difference between being confident and just absolutely being so self-obsessed with yourself and saying, yeah, I'm the fucking best.
But it's not like he's a bad.
I couldn't
player,
agree
though.
more.
He's not a bad player.
You're supposed to go.
No.
You're
top
supposed to
10
go
in the
top 3,
draft.
but again, when you slip, when you're supposed to be like top 3, top 5, top 10 projected quarterback, your name has been out there all year before the draft, and you fall to the 4th round, that tells you something. That tells the viewers something.
But it's not
that tells
because
the
of
league
his skill,
something.
though. We know he's a really skilled talent.
I mean, who knows? It could maybe the teams
don't
looked
know.
at his
We don't know
games,
that
looked at his draft combine.
Well, didn't he do well in Colorado?
He did, but they also had a really good team. And again, I think the main reason was
Yeah, they had Travis Hunter. Yeah.
I think his main reason was the locker room. I think his ego is too
Yes.
high. I think this will put him in check.
But still, he could. An ego means like you can be that leader in the team to be like, hey guys, like it's not just me that's good. Like we're good as a team. Like you know,
Yeah, no,
you
I
could bring everything together. Like you don't.
and
want,
I get that point.
You don't want a quarterback being like, oh, okay, I can throw a pass. I guess.
No,
I'm
no,
good."
you want
You want
confidence.
someone's like, yeah, I'm that man. I can do that. I
But
can
you
make
don't
that
you don't
pass."
want like, all right, get the fuck out of the way. I'm the fucking best in this locker room. You guys are all shit. I'm the man here.
I don't think he would do that to his
Yeah.
own teammates.
Would he
though.
say that to their faces? No, but I know in his mindset. Obviously, I can't read minds, but I
He's
think
definitely thinking that.
I think his ego was in check. I think the GMs put him in check, and I think that was obviously. I'm not saying he deserved to go in the 4th round because his talent is way above that, especially looking at the quarterbacks who went before him. But I think it's a good reality check for him.
And I'm not comparing.
He's gonna have to
him-
prove himself.
Listen, like Kobe Bryant. I'm not. I know Kobe
Okay.
was established and everything. He won championships, but he had that ego where he's like, I'm the best. I'm gonna make this shot. I'm gonna be the guy to do this. Maybe you should. Sanders could do that. Like,
Well, it took what Kobe two,
I don't think
3
so.
years to actually get his groove on.
I mean, his first year he was
Yeah.
chucking up 20 shots a game though. So you can have that ego. You just got to prove it. And I think he did
There
prove
you go.
a little bit in Colorado.
But again, proving in college is one thing, but being able to actually prove it on the NFL field is something else. And I think, yes, you can have a bit of an ego, you can have a bit of an I'm confident as fuck, but you have to also be able to prove it. And I hope he does, but I don't know if he's going to be able to.
But I'm pretty sure what he got, why he wasn't drafted early. Like, I'm pretty sure like the videos were like, oh, my teammates better give me the ball, or my teammates better get out of the way and everything. And like, I bet it's just about like the other team, like just being confident in himself against other teams. Like, I feel like that's what teams need. They need someone who's confident in themselves and their team to win games, to make plays. And that's someone who Sanders is. I don't understand why he got disrespected so much in the draft. He's obviously top 10 talent, as we just mentioned. Like,
it's gonna be interesting to see.
So one thing I wanted to mention, Connor, is I agree with you with the ego thing and the confidence thing, because that's like a huge thing in sports, just all around any sport, having confidence in yourself, because that matters. But the ego he's giving is the ego that we had with the Bills when we had Stephon Diggs on the team, and that guy was way too ego. He was way too full of himself, and that's the reason why the Bills never went far with him. Like, sure, we made it, like we always kept losing to the Chiefs because when we had that ego, we saw that he couldn't catch the ball. He wasn't showing up. He had the ego, but he didn't have the skills to support it. Yeah. So it's one of those things where it's like, I'm now seeing it in a quarterback where it's like, okay, great, you have the ego, but let's see if you can actually support that ego, because Stephon Diggs sure as hell didn't support that ego when he was on the Bills. He wouldn't make a single catch when Allen, an MVP quarterback, hit him directly every single time.
I'm rooting for Shedeur. I hope he plays well, but he's definitely got something to prove.
Yeah, but Shedeur, if he makes a bad play, I'm pretty sure people, like, he's not going to support himself being like, I did good. What do you mean? Like, I played really well. I'm pretty sure he's going to be like, okay, I had a bad game. I got to get back into the lab, work on myself. But again, you can't have a quarterback who's going to be like, oh, it's okay, guys. We lost this game. Like, it's whatever. You can't baby this team around. Yeah. Like, you need someone who's going to take charge, take action, be like, hey, guys, get your head in the game. Make these plays, catch the ball.
What he needs is a good griddled veteran to bring him into his wing and show him the way, and I think Myles Garrett could easily do that. He's one of the best rushers in the league, if not the best, and I think he really has to take Shedeur under his wing and tell him, hey, you're coming into the league, 4th round, that's okay. Tom Brady was the last pick in the draft. Not comparing them, but I'm just saying in general, you didn't go where you wanted to? Okay, prove him wrong.
I think all these other teams who didn't pick him are idiots just because he has an ego problem. Just get a good quarterback for your team. I bet you there's a bunch of teams that don't have a good quarterback who could have used him. Yeah. You can't baby your teammates around. Like, if someone misses a catch, you can't be like, oh, it's okay. You'll catch the next one. You got to get your head in the game, bro. Like, what are you doing?
All right, take these on the table. All right. I just want to go over quick of the Commanders draft picks. They're 29th overall, Josh Connolly Jr., offensive tackle. He's going to be really good. Obviously, we traded for Laremy Tunsil, who's, I'm hoping, going to be able to defend Jaden Daniels as he has been for the last however long. That's the big thing you have to do. You have to protect your quarterback. Although Jaden Daniels, we know how good of a scrambler he is. If you can keep him in the pocket for a longer period of time and make him make those good throws he can do, obviously that's going to be good for them. So I'm happy with that draft pick. And then their second round pick, Trey Amos, who is a cornerback. Very, very excited about him. Him and Marshawn Lattimore with Mike Sanders are going to be a really good trio. I'm excited to see how he develops in this year. Interested to see where Dan Quinn puts him. That's all I want to say about him. But Trey Amos, I'm excited to see him, how he comes up. Speaking of Commanders, they did get approved for a new stadium. Ooh, we know that's exciting. They're returning to Washington, which their arena, I don't remember where they play right now, but it's not Washington.
6 kilometers outside of Washington.
Yeah, I know a lot of stadiums around sports are like that, but they're coming back to Washington, $4 billion deal to get this done. So maybe if I catch a Commander game sometime in the future, I'm sure that'll be a good experience. It's going to be ready by 2030, so I still have some time. But yeah, excited to see that deal come through. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with the NBA playoffs. Game 7, Warriors and Rockets. 9 minutes left in the third quarter. Warriors up 56-45. Last game of the first round. Remy, who's coming out on top? Even though it's already in the third quarter, who do you think is going to finish out that game strong?
Seeing this game right now live, 56-45 for the Warriors, I'm taking the Warriors. They've got the experience. They've got Curry, who's a champion, four-time champion. You got Jimmy Butler, who's been playing insane during these playoffs. You got the experience in Draymond Green defensively, even though, he's questionable on defense sometimes. I'm taking the Warriors.
Well, looking at the Warriors right now, Curry only has 3 points, which is crazy for the third quarter. He's only got 3 points. Buddy Hield with 22 Buddy Hield has 22 points. Draymond with 10. Butler with 11. Somehow this team is up 10 on the Rockets. Sengun has 12. Emma Thompson has 14. And then everyone else is 9. Fred VanVleet with 9. And then some players with 2 and 3. So this game is like low scoring, and it's low scoring weirdly. Like Curry has no points. VanVleet, who had really good game 5 and 6, has 9 points. Sengun, who would expect to have a way more. And Connor, it's a whack ass third period right now.
Listen, it's 2025, the era of the 3-pointer. So obviously, Buddy Hield, his shots are going in.
He hasn't been doing this all series though. I think last game he had 0 points.
Exactly. So he had 0 points last game. Maybe the Ime Udoka was drawing up the game plan like, oh, double team Curry, double team Butler.
And leave him open?
Leave Draymond open. But, Buddy Hield, you don't have to worry about him too much. You got 0 points. So maybe they're just not compressing him too much on defense right now, and that's why he's chucking up all these shots and making them. But, I do have the Warriors winning this just because of all their experience they've had. Curry, as we mentioned, 4-time champion. Buddy Hield, not as much experience, but we know him as a 3-point shooter. Jimmy Butler's been to the finals a couple times. Draymond, obviously 4-time champion. But if the Rockets do manage to come back, I think the X factor is Fred VanVleet, as I've mentioned before.
He has to step up in the last quarter and a half.
Listen, last podcast, all these guys were clowning me for saying, "Oh, Fred VanVleet, oh yeah, Timberwolves don't need VanVleet and stuff." All right, look what happened. Yeah, karma bitch.
Yeah, he's got 9 points. That's what happened.
9 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, and a bunch of experience is all you need for a young team like this.
Assuming the Warriors win, because that's the way it's currently going right now, are you taking the Warriors or are you taking the T-Wolves?
I got the Rockets.
All right. Like I said, excluding the Warriors, Remy, I'm going to you now. Excluding the Rockets because they're currently down and going by statistical stuff, the Warriors and the T-Wolves, who's winning?
I'm taking the... Wait, you said between the Warriors and the T-Wolves?
If the Warriors win, they play the T-Wolves. Who would you have?
Yeah, I'm taking T-Wolves easily. You got Ant, who's a Michael Jordan 2.0. Obviously, he doesn't have a ring yet, but that's going to happen this year.
Listen, we know what happened before when we tried predicting a game. They're going to overtime right now, okay? So let's not predict anything too bad.
Hey, there's still a quarter and a half.
It was an 11-point game. Now it's a 9-point game.
Yeah.
So they're coming back little by little.
Statistically, I'm just looking at Warriors are up, so I'm looking at Warriors and T-Wolves. If that were to happen, I'm taking the T-Wolves. If that were to happen.
If that were to happen, I would probably take the Warriors over the T-Wolves. I don't think the T-Wolves were as good as they were when they had Cat. Although Julius Randle is going off right now in the playoffs, I think they need Cat on that team.
Me too. Gobert's not the same.
It's not this. I don't know why they traded Gobert for Cat. Like Cat's not homegrown, but he was drafted there.
He played there with KG.
Yeah, drafted there with KG. We've all seen that iconic picture they took together. I think he wanted to stay there his whole life. Kind of surprised by the trade, but that team's not as good as what they were when they had Cat. And the Warriors they have a bunch of experience on their team, and they also have Coach Kerr, who's known for 3-point plays, 3-point game plans.
Yeah,
and they have like the best 3-point shooter of all time on their team.
The Timberwolves, though, Naz Reid has been playing really well.
Naz Reid's like my favorite player on that team.
He's been playing really well. Obviously, we know Ant, Gobert. He can clamp up a couple of Warriors players.
Oh yeah, they're really good defensively, but again, it's hard to guard perimeter defense with your
Obviously, we know that.
Yeah.
If the Rockets are to come back and win this game, and it's the Rockets and the T-Wolves, who are you taking? Rockets.
I mean, do I have to say it again?
If the Rockets and T-Wolves, you're taking the Rockets.
Yeah,
Rockets. I mean, if you can come down 3-1 off the Warriors, I think you can beat the T-Wolves.
Yeah, because although the Timberwolves do have size, they have Naz Reid, they have
Rockets also have size.
Exactly. The Rockets also do have size. They have Steven Adams, Jabari Smith. I'm definitely forgetting. Oh, yeah.
Sengun
as well.
Amen Thompson's like 6'7", 6'8".
So they have some really nice talent at the center position, power forward position, and they also have a lot of good guards, young players. I don't think they have as much experience as the Timberwolves do have. So that'll be the X factor. I think the experience will be X factor. VanVleet's. Listen, Draymond Green went on a post conference the other day.
Yeah, we saw what happened. If VanVleet I think viewers saw what happened. If VanVleet plays a really good series, if they end up playing each other, then I think the Rockets would probably win in like 5 or 6 games.
So I just want to point out that it's now a 7-point game when they said the game is pretty much
so
over.
if it's Rockets and Warriors, how many games? It's definitely going the
Rockets
distance.
and Warriors.
Or sorry, if it's Rockets and T-Wolves, it's definitely going the distance. I don't see a sweep, and I don't see 5 games.
It's hard because they're both. None of them are number 1 seeds, so I would probably say 6 or 7 games, and I really don't see the Timberwolves going any farther than the second round. So I've got the Rockets winning this one.
Oh, so you think Warriors and Rockets would win T-Wolves? So you think no matter what, T-Wolves
No matter what, who comes out of the series,
T-Wolves are losing?
T-Wolves, yeah.
Okay. Remy? If we were to the Rockets, who are you taking?
Okay, the hot take here. I'm taking T-Wolves, clean sweep 4-0.
You're taking a sweep.
I personally, clean sweep. And the
Wait.
What did he say?
You're taking a sweep over the Rockets?
Yes, I'm taking
of the T-Wolves.
Yes, 100%. 100%. I know Ant has that chip on his shoulder. I know he's got that mentality. Nobody on that team is guarding Ant. And Men Thompson, he's one of my favorite players right now in the NBA.
Yeah, I'd put. I mean, is Edwards still going to score 25? Probably. But I think Amen Thompson's going to give him a run for his money.
Let me finish. I think no. Let me finish. I personally think Amen Thompson's great and all. He's not clamping Ant. There's no chance he's clamping Ant. I'm telling you right now. First game, Ant has 25 or 35 points.
25 is whatever for Ant.
Yeah, Ant will have 25 points, but Amen Thompson will make him get 25 points on 30 shot attempts.
Say Edwards gets 30 points. I think it's also Amen Thompson makes him shoot 40% from the field. And if he's shooting inefficiency, he's going to have to put the ball in someone else's hands.
Yeah, give it to Naz Reid. Give it to Mike Conley. Give it to Rudy Gobert.
Oh, Mike Conley.
Mike Conley out here dropping triple-doubles. Watch out. Gobert out here dropping 30 points.
You don't need them to drop 30 points. You just need them to space the floor.
This is what I'm saying. The T-Wolves
you can bang on the table, but I can't.
Yeah, it's my table. The T-Wolves have a decent amount of size, like we said, but so do the Rockets. The Rockets have size, as you just said. They have Steven Adams, Jabari Smith. They have these ballers, 6'10 and above. You look at the Rockets. How do you not see, even if you have the Timberwolves winning, a sweep is crazy. You'd at least, the Rockets get 2 games.
No. I'm taking clean sweep. And on the next podcast, 2 podcasts from now, going back to what Connor said about Fred VanVleet playing so well, I'm going to be making the same comment, except for about the Timberwolves and Ant playing so well.
All right, well,
mark my words.
We'll see what happens with that game. Hopefully by the end of the pod, we'll know who won. Knicks and Celtics play the first game of round number 2 tomorrow at 7 p.m. Connor, Knicks, Celtics.
I've got the Celtics winning this. I think
it's
hard to knock them out of this.
It's hard to say the Celtics because we know what they just did. We know how good of a team they are.
Defending champs.
Look at the Knicks. Like, the Knicks have upgraded their roster. I think the Knicks, if anyone is going to beat the Celtics, it's either going to be the Cavs or the Knicks.
Like, yeah, it's tough to
say. You have Porzingis. That's cool. We have Cat.
Yeah, like
you have Tatum. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. We have Brunson. Is Tatum better than Brunson? You can argue both ways, honestly.
But listen, it's hard to say because I think this game.
You have Derek White.
Will go to Game 7 because
that's cool. We have Josh Hart.
Brunson, Josh Hart. They got OG on the team. They're probably going to put OG on their best guard or guy. So probably
Tatum.
Tatum.
You have Jaylen Brown. We have OG.
Yes, and Tatum. OG. He's not just like a defender. He's a 3-and-D. He can also score too.
Yeah.
We've seen a 2-week span where he got 25 points per game while also being the best defender on the court. So put him on Tatum, and he's also going to have some offensive. He's going to produce on the offensive.
You have Derek White. We have Mikal Bridges.
Okay, well, I'm not a big Mikal Bridges fan. But
well, I know me neither. But I'm saying just look at them, how they're built and how defensively built they are. I really think they can match up with the Celtics.
Yeah, and I think it's really hard to go back-to-back in the NBA Finals, especially in this era. I think the last team to go back-to-back was the Warriors.
It's tough.
Yeah, it's really tough to do so, especially with so much talent around the league. But I have this going to Game 7.
It's going to be a hot first series. Remy, who would you have winning this game?
It's tough.
Who do you have winning the series?
I'm taking the Celtics, and both teams are fantastic. Don't get me wrong; they're pretty equal in my opinion. But I'm taking the Celtics for the one reason that I just feel like Tatum needs to prove to himself that he can go back to back, and I think he's got that chip on his shoulder saying, "Listen, you know what? Jaylen Brown, great teammate of mine, won Finals MVP." It's no, now it's my turn to win Finals MVP. So I personally think he's got that chip where it's you know what? OG, fantastic defender. I know he's gonna clamp up Tatum pretty well, but I just feel like the Celtics have more depth because Derek White Like they've
You have
got
Derek
Drew
White.
Holiday,
We have
so
Josh Hart.
You also have Drew Holiday. Yeah, no, they have Drew
Drew
Holiday.
Holiday
though.
was injured. I don't even know if Drew Holiday is going to play tomorrow.
I don't think so.
But even if he doesn't play, you still have Derek White, who's the surprise. Not even
Oh, you have
surprise
Derek
factor, he's
White?
just a
Oh,
factor
that's
on the
cool.
team.
We have Mikal Bridges, who plays really good defense.
But Mikal Bridges can't do anything else right now. His jump shot's
If
the worst
Mikal
I've
Bridges
ever
can
seen.
put a good
It's
offensive-
almost as bad as Shaq hitting a 3-pointer.
Drew Holiday
in the
is
NBA. He's only
expected
hit
to
one.
return in Game 1 tomorrow as well.
Yeah, so I mean, exactly. You got Drew Holiday. Congratulations. We also have more. So we also have Peyton Pritchard. Have fun. guarding
Okay,
him from
Peyton
half
Pritchard
court.
got
He's
0
gonna shoot.
points in the last 3 games against Orlando.
2 points.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
Like, we barely have a good defensive guard because Suggs is out, and this guy couldn't get a basket in the last 2 games. So I'm not worried about Peyton Pritchard.
Well, I mean, I don't think that's Peyton Pritchard's
Okay,
fault.
well,
You saw
the
you.
games
I don't know if you saw.
the
He
games
was
weren't exactly too close for
he
Orlando.
was chucking up shots and he wasn't making them.
Not the last game we saw.
And you know what?
Yeah,
You know what? Remember the game we watched and he was putting up shots and he wasn't making them.
the last game.
And
Yeah,
you know what happened in that game? I think it was the game Orlando won
Yeah, I
when
was
it was
thinking about
2-1,
the one that
or
Orlando
it was
won.
up 3-1. Either way, Payton
3-1.
was shooting up shots. He wasn't making them. And they took the ball out of his hands. And also, when we watched the Celtics series, we saw how they play in the playoffs. It's give it to Tatum or Brown. Everyone else get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah, I was gonna say that if the Celtics want to beat the Knicks in this next series,
They have to give
gotta
the ball up.
They got to utilize more players than just Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. I get that they're good players. Jaylen Brown won Finals MVP. And a superstar Jason Tatum. But listen, you got Peyton Pritchard, Drew Holiday, you got Derek White, Kristaps Porzingis. I can keep on going. They have so many great players on their team that
They have to give them a chance. But that's the thing. You list down their depth, but the Knicks also have good depth. That's why I think it's not, I'm saying, evenly matched, but depth-wise, it's closer to anyone else in the Eastern Conference.
But you don't see Jalen Brunson or Cat taking 30 shots a game. They're actually passing to OG. They're passing to other players. They're not just the two players.
Well,
shooting.
another point is that the Celtics love to do a screen and give it to Porzingis in the post. You can't do that against Cat because he's 6'10", 6'11". You're not gonna be able to do that against him. When you have Corey Joseph on him, you're gonna be able to do that. When they play the Magic, the Celtics like to do a screen.
It didn't work.
And run either Porzingis. They didn't start doing this till late in the series. They put Porzingis toward the basket on a cut, have an open basket. Before that, they would love for the first 3-4 games of the series. What they do is run a screen, give it to Porzingis on a mismatch in the post, and he'd post up and go for a jumper. You can't do that because they have Cat, who's not going to let that happen. That's not a mismatch.
You said he's 6'11".
But
So that's not. He's Kristaps.
No, but he's a hell of a lot bigger than Corey Joseph.
I mean, we've all seen
And
the pictures
Cat is strong.
We've seen pictures of Cat trying to back down
DeMarcus
Rudy
Cousins
Gobert,
in
DeMarcus
2014.
Cousins. Yeah, like
Come on,
not that strong.
But it's also Porzingis is not like that guy. When you have Cat on you, I'm not saying Cat's an amazing defender, but it's gonna be, you're not gonna be able to cut to the basket against 6'1" point guard anymore. You're gonna have Cat down there. You're gonna have OG down there. You're gonna have Josh Hart, who's a scrapper down there. You're gonna have a lot of players who are gonna be in the way of Porzingis in the bucket, and that was a play they like to run. So if you take that away, and also Cat is obviously a way better scorer than Wendell Carter Jr., so you added another center who can compete with Porzingis. I just think this is not totally evenly matched, but if anyone's going to give the Celtics a run for their money, it's going to be the Knicks.
Yeah.
I think you're forgetting the fact that last series with the Magic, they gave the ball to Porzingis and he shot terribly. He did nothing last series.
He couldn't score until I think it was game 5.
He was doing terrible. They had to take the ball out of his hands. They just like say, you know what, this game plan's not working, and then they just started chucking shots.
And that
again.
was without Cat. Cat is obviously a lot better than Wendell.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying it's a closer series, but I'm still taking the Celtics because I think Tatum has a chip on his shoulder.
I think, you want to talk about chip on the shoulder. Jalen Brunson, I think, has a chip on his shoulder. You think you play New York, you're playing on the Knicks, one of the biggest markets in the National Basketball Association. The Knicks have been disappointing for how many years? When was the last time they made a conference finals?
Carmelo era.
Yeah, exactly. So now this guy's playing with a chip on his shoulder. He wants to win. So if you're clutch player of the year.
I get that he's from New York, but he didn't really play for New York, so I wouldn't really call that a chip on the shoulder. I would say
I'm saying he's just, in general, he's just coming into a team that has such big expectations. He's like, I'm on a big market team. They have big expectations for us. I need to take the ball. I need to score 20 points.
If anybody has a chip on their shoulder, I would say it's Cat. Just
it could be Cat, yeah.
His former team, that he wasn't the problem and that he can win on
former team.
The Timberwolves.
Knicks and Celtics.
Remember the trade last year with Cat and then Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo? Remember that trade?
Yeah, but Cat didn't play for the Celtics.
Okay, but I'm saying if he can beat the Celtics, he's gonna show his former team like.
Well, if Timberwolves won that series, but that's talk for another time. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a goodly matched team. I think either way, whoever you have winning, it has to be at least 6 games.
But and I think the Celtics need to utilize their other players, like I mentioned before. Sorry, a little technical difficulty.
You're good.
I think the Celtics need to utilize their players because if they go into these games and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna get the ball now," like what do I like? I know they know how to play basketball and everything, but they've been in big situations. They're gonna be in big situations, and when they haven't been shooting the ball as much as they would in the regular season, they're not gonna know how to perform in those situations. So they need to give the ball to those.
They have to utilize the depth they have. You can't just give it to Brown and Tatum and say, go for it.
Yeah, because all of a sudden you're in the conference finals or the finals, and then these players finally get the ball in their hands because they're double teaming Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
They're not going to be as hot as they would be if they were to have been shooting more shots in the past series. So maybe let them shoot a little bit more one game, or if you're up 3 games, 2 games, let the role players shoot more and get their rhythm back.
Tomorrow night, also 9:30 p.m., Nuggets and Thunder play their game 1. I think this is going to be the series that out of all of them, I'm going to watch the closely just because Nuggets and Thunder, that's going to be a big hyped up series. You have Jokic, you have SGA, the two MVPs going at each other. Remy, who would you have taken the series?
I'm taking OKC. I really want to see Shea win something. I really do. The true Canadian. I personally think they've got it. I mean, even though Jokic, he's a fantastic player, it's only when he's on the court he makes a difference. When you have the bench squad and he's not on the court, or in general he's not on the court, the offensive efficiency goes down by so much. And we even saw it last night where when the Clippers, when Jokic was on the court, they were slowly making their way back. And I think they were hitting their shots. But Nuggets still won, obviously. But yeah.
Who you taking?
I mean, Westbrook's back in OKC.
That's going to be that's another story.
You're talking about chip on the
shoulder.
Yeah,
talk about that guy.
Yeah, so it'd be nice to see the Nuggets win this series.
This is why I think the series is going to be. You have 2 MVPs. You have Westbrook going to OKC. You have Aaron Gordon, who everyone just loves. Aaron Gordon.
I think
it's a series of storylines.
I was about to say this is the biggest series storyline of the whole.
This is the one when you're like scrolling on Instagram and then people are posting highlights and talking about
MVP to MVP, and then also Westbrook back to OKC.
Who we know what he's done, MVP, 8-time whatever, triple double record holder.
What I'm just scared of is if SGA wins 1 or 2 games and it's 2-0, they're gonna give the MVP to SGA over Jokic just because of the playoffs. I hope the playoffs have nothing to do with the MVP here.
That's what I think everyone is worried about.
I think recency bias might be showing up here if the OKC do win 2 games, get the Nuggets. But
this is why they need to announce the MVP before the playoffs.
Or at least, before the playoffs.
Before the playoffs, because that way you know that there's no playoff bias, that
recency bias,
that no matter who comes out on top in the postseason, that the rightful MVP is awarded, even if they get swept in the first round.
And I don't know, I feel like they have the same amount of depth though, because OKC, they have Shea, they have Chet, they have Jalen Williams, they have Isaiah Hardenstein.
Yeah, you have Shea, we have Jamal, which obviously is obviously completely different standards, but Jamal's still a good player.
But then you have Jokic, and then versus
you have Holmgren or Hardenstein. You have Jalen Williams. We have Aaron Gordon.
They both have really deep depth benches. Not benches, but teams.
Just even their starting 5.
Yeah, I don't think the Nuggets have that much depth on their bench. I think they do have Westbrook, who is a spark plug off the bench. And I don't know if Christian Braun starts or not, but they don't have as much depth as OKC Thunder have. OKC just have such great depth, deep depth on their bench. So I think the bench is what's going to be the X factor, because when the Nuggets bench comes on, I think we're going to see a lot of big runs from OKC Thunder, and vice versa. When OKC's bench is on the court, I think they're still going to have a steady offensive production.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a good series. Probably one of the most watched viewership out of all of them. I'm hoping Nuggets. I think Nuggets take it in 7.
Yeah,
I don't think you gave your prediction.
It's tough.
It's tough. No, I know it's tough. We obviously want to root for the Canadian, but Nuggets. It's Jokic and Aaron Gordon.
I feel like OKC is gonna win because they had such a large margin of victory between their team, the first place team, and the second place team. They're up 16 wins above the second place team, which is so hard to do. I'm pretty sure 16 points or 16 wins, but they've just been playing so well this year, and they're only going to get better and better. They have so many draft picks. I'm not talking about the future, but I'm just saying what their team has. They've done so well in the front office. Sam Presti's, man, that guy is one of the best GMs in the league, other than Masai Ujiri, obviously. But, man, they have such great depth, and I feel like they're going to win.
It's going to be a hell of a series. Pacers and Cavs, they finished their game today. Pacers won 121-112. Game 2 is on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Siakam 17, Nesmith 17, Miles Turner 13, Andrew Nembhard with 23. I said that before we were on air. He's not doing that again. Tyrese Halliburton 22.
Casual.
He averaged 10 points per game in the regular season. Don't give me that shit. Evan Mobley with 20, Mitchell 33, Ty Jerome with 21. I still think the Cavs come back and win.
I've had the Pacers as a dark horse contender for
dark horse. Yeah, I feel like they have a good team, but Andrew Nembhard is not dropping 23 every single game of the series.
Okay, but
10 points per game in the regular season.
They do have really good side pieces. Like they have Benedict Mathurin, Nembhard, Naismith, and then they have the two main guys, Siakam, who's already won a championship.
No, I know that.
He knows how to be that second guy on the team, and Tyrese Halliburton, who although doesn't score that many points, he knows how to get his teammates open. He can find those lanes, and he's also very shifty too. So I really want to see the Pacers winning this, and I really have them as my
Evan Mobley on Siakam. I'm taking Mobley to guard him. I think Siakam's gonna have a tough time. I didn't watch the game, so I don't know how much they were equally matched up. But going on in the series, I think if you have Mobley on Siakam, I think Siakam's gonna have a hell of a time trying to get through that brick of a wall. Mitchell at 33. Who is guarding Mitchell? It's a trick question because no one. Remy, tell me I'm right. Who's guarding Mitchell?
Mitchell's averaging 23 points per game, so he's not averaging as many points as he did before. But Tyrese Halliburton, 6'5". He's not the best defender, but he can lock him down.
He cannot lock down Mitchell. Remy, help me out.
Oh shit! He couldn't lock anything down. He couldn't lock anybody.
That's why I went to him.
He couldn't even lock the coach if they subbed the coach in for some wild reason. Hypothetically, if they subbed the coach in, they still couldn't lock up a coach.
Obviously,
Tyrese Halliburton has no defense. That guy is worse defensively.
He gets a lot of steals.
He does, but and obviously when I don't know what I was gonna say, but yeah, I think Mitchell is. You just can't guard him. Is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to find my words.
His first year on the Cavs, you can't guard him, but he's a different player now. He has more options now, so they're gonna be looking more towards But
this is the thing: if Mitchell goes off and drops 30 again, then and you get his other players, you have Max Strus who had a shit game. If he comes in and drops 15, Mobley who had 20, if he does that again, if Jared Allen drops maybe 15 to 20, if DeAndre Hunter can go in and drop a couple more points than he had, it's tough. It's really tough. I really think, and you look at the number 1 seed here. I think the Cavs really come back. I think Mitchell is going to carry this team past the Pacers.
They lost maybe on I'm just a hater. Court. They lost on their home court.
Like I said before, the other series, when you're an away team going into opposition, your goal is to get 1 game. They got 1 game. Now I think the Cavs are going to come back harder, and they're going to come back and say, this is our court. We have to defend it.
If they don't win their next game, then I see.
If they're down 2-0, it's obviously tough, but we've seen teams be down 2-0 before and come back.
3-0 before.
We've seen weirder stuff. I really think Cavs will take it in 6 or 7 games. I think it's going to be a good series. I think it's going to go the distance, but I really do believe in the Cavs. As much as I hate to say it because they beat the Magic last year, I think the Cavs are going to come back and storm back, and I would not be surprised if you see a Cavs-Knicks conference finals.
I think the Pacers have a better coach as well. They have Rick Carlisle versus JB Bickerstaff.
Bickerstaff's Pistons. Kenny Atkinson.
God,
Kenny Atkinson. We talked about this before.
God,
Kenny Atkinson. First season on the Cavs brings him to 64 wins.
But still, Rick Carlisle has coached very good teams.
And we know how long he's been there for.
Just a couple of years, but he coached Dirk Nowitzki. He's coached Luka Doncic before. He's coached many great players. I think he coached the Pacers back in the 90s too with Reggie Miller in them. So he's coached some really well teams. He knows some schemes to play. So I have him over the coach
Kenny Atkinson.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, I think the X factor here, although I'm not a big coach person, could be the coaches here.
Really, I don't know. I'm not. Kenny Atkinson most likely win Coach of the Year. I really think the Cavs come back and win this series. And like I said, I would not be surprised if you see a Knicks and a Cavs conference finals. But if it's how you would expect it to go and it's Celtics and it's Pacers, who would you have winning?
I have the Pacers as the dark horse, as I mentioned.
You really think the Pacers would take on the Celtics?
I think they put up a good fight, but Celtics, as we've mentioned, do have more depth on their team.
If the Celtics can get through the Knicks, I think they can get through the Pacers.
That's fair.
I think they'll be able to do that. And
I just hate saying the number one seed. I know they're not number one, number two, but the defending champ. I hate just saying that they're going to go to the finals automatically. Like I like the underdog. I like the dark horse.
Yeah.
You know, obviously Celtics and OKC are the favorites. I don't want to say that they're going to go to the finals, even though it might be. But I have the Pacers.
Remy, if it's Celtics and Pacers, as some might expect it to go, who's winning?
No-brainer Celtics. It's an easy, light job for the
Okay.
Celtics
What about
against
this?
Pacers.
What about this? If it's Celtics and Cavs, who's winning?
Taking the Cavs.
Yeah. Like I said, I think if anyone's going to beat the Celtics, it's going to be the Knicks and it's going to be the Cavs.
Cavs.
Yeah.
If the Cavs beat the Celtics and the Cavs make the finals, not only do the Cavs go down as just one of the best teams we've seen in recent years, but it goes down as the proof of the NBA has a script, and they wrote it.
How would that be a script if the Cavs won?
Yeah, I don't know how that,
Cavs,
I really don't know how that would be a script.
Cavs make it to the finals. It's all, look at LeBron's former team make the finals.
Nobody's looking at that storyline.
I think a lot of people are looking at that storyline.
No one cares about that storyline. We've already got the storyline of LeBron being out in the first round once again.
If Mitchell makes the finals, whether he wins or loses, how much does that impact his overall stance here in NBA history?
I think he's been forgotten over the couple past years, ever since he did average 30 points per game. Then the next year, 24, 23.
So do you think making the finals would maybe put him in more talks?
Yeah, because
100%.
I don't think it's been talked about enough recently. So that would definitely put him in considerations as one of the best players in the league.
Going into the West, if it's Nuggets and we'll say the Warriors.
Nuggets. Yeah,
Really?
they got the MVP on their team, and they've won a championship before. Although Curry did win before, it's just the center. He gets 30 points, 20 rebounds, 10 plus assists each game, pretty much. Like,
You know what'd be a good one? Thunder and Rockets.
said no one ever.
Oh, I said no one ever. That it may not from a viewership standpoint. Like I'd hate that.
I guess because
I'd hate that. But if you look at like the two young teams, I think that'd be like interesting. Just coming in from a perspective. Look, the Thunder, 4 years ago were shit.
both of them were.
The Rockets just last year and the year before and the year before were shit.
Both of them were in lottery draft picks.
And now you look at them and they're
ago.
playing each other in the conference finals. That'd be like.
I mean, I guess, but you kind of want to see the faces of the leagues. You don't want to see like.
No, I know that from a
Green
viewership
versus-
point, it's not going to draw many. But just from like a basketball fan, I feel like that'd be exciting. You know, I feel like that would be the Magic and the Pistons playing in the conference finals. It may not draw viewership, but it's exciting.
You would watch that.
Of course, I'd watch it, but I think it may
Paolo
not.
versus Kate Cunningham.
Yeah, it may not draw a lot of viewers, but I think as an actual basketball fan, it might just be interesting.
KCP versus Malik, but
Okay, I think it'd just be interesting to have
Obviously.
young teams go at each other. Do I think that's gonna happen? Fuck no.
No. I think it's going to be the top three teams or the Pacers.
But a little update. Going into the fourth quarter, Warriors are up 70-62. So it's still a very close
8-point
game.
game. Anything can happen. And what about the hockey game right now? Let's get a little update on that. I guess it's probably still intermission.
No, in overtime. Actually, yeah. So they're going into double OT. Double OT. So we unfortunately don't have an update on that. Going into Champions League, some soccer talk, which has been underway. I think both game first legs are through.
3-3 for Inter Milan and Barcelona.
Yeah. First we'll go into the PSG and Arsenal game. What'd you like about that? 1-0 for PSG.
Yeah. 4 minutes into the game, Ousmane Dembele got a goal. He's the one who kind of knocked Liverpool out of the contention for Champions League. I said he was going to be an X Factor type of player for the team. Ever since Mbappe left, he's kind of taken the captain's sleeve and the reins. So I predicted PSG versus Barcelona in the finals. So far, I feel like my prediction is going to be accurate. PSG just has such a nice young team, such nice players on the team. They mesh well together. Most of them are from France, obviously. So they play on the France team together. So
you
that's a lot of
think
connection.
they're going to take the game on Wednesday?
I do. Although I don't. Yeah, I'm a Liverpool
It's only
fan, so I'm
one.
not
It's
gonna
only
say
1-0
Arsenal's gonna
though.
win. Yeah.
It's only one goal. I think.
Arsenal can't even win the Prem title.
No, but I think Arsenal could come out and really show attacking and aggressiveness as they have to when you're down a goal.
Yeah, but when Arsenal won against Real Madrid earlier this month or weeks before, they got their goals from free kicks. It wasn't like they got their goals from, breakaways or, they got it from free kicks. So if PSG are smart enough not to put Declan Rice onto the free kick line, I think they should be okay because PSG does have a faster team. They have a younger team. So I do have PSG winning this game, even though it's going to a second leg.
And then Inter and Barcelona, I watched that game. Inter on the brink of winning 3-2.
Yep.
Sommer puts it in his own net and gets an own goal. Heartbreaking.
Was that the bar down one? It was like a bar down and then off his back.
Yeah, I can't remember how it went in, but seeing that, oh my God, it broke my heart. But the fact that it's 3-3, but also we saw in news, Lautaro Martinez will be sidelined for the next game due to injury. So now you have Inter without its best player going up against Barcelona. And as much as a fan, and as much as I hate to say it, I think Barcelona, especially since it's tied and Inter doesn't have the lead as they should, I think Barcelona is going to take the game. I think they're going to advance.
Yeah, I said it. PSG versus Barcelona in the finals. Barcelona, they have Lewandowski still. They have Lamine Yamal. They have such a great team. And without Lautaro Martinez, it's going to be pretty tough. If Barella can maybe step up or any of your other players can step up, maybe you have a chance, but they have such a great team, and it's going to be hard.
If someone's going to step up, it's got to be Thuram. He had a goal in the first game. He's going to have to come out.
Yeah, Thuram was playing well.
He's in their formation. He was a second striker. He's going to have to play very, very well. Dumfries had 2 goals.
Dumfries, yeah.
So if he can put in another one or do something, I agree. Barella has to come out. He has to play in attacking. I think Inter, if they have a chance at winning, they have to come out more of attacking than defending if they want to come out on top. Because they're down to their main striker. Their defender, Kubarsi, I might have butchered that. He has a yellow card. I think you attack the team.
Kvaratskhelia? No, sorry, wrong team.
Yeah,
wrong
no,
team.
yeah, I know
PSG.
what you're talking
I'm
about.
talking about PSG.
No, I think they have to come out DeMarco if he can get something done. I think this is the one I want to see. If you get a corner, you kick it to Bastoni for a header. Bastoni is so good at that. If you have to take advantage of every single corner you take, that's going to be the key. Is if you get a corner for Inter, you have to take advantage of it. And obviously, yes, which is why I think Barcelona will end up winning the game. Not only because Lautaro is injured, but if you look at their roster, Yamal, who had a goal, Pedri, who we know is fantastic on that team, Szczesny. Yeah, Szczesny might have messed that up, but he's obviously a great keeper. Torres had also a goal. I think it's gonna be a close game, but I think FC Barcelona takes it with the 1-2 goal range.
They just have such great depth. They're like the Celtics. They have, what I said. Szczesny's a great goalie. He started over Buffon and some other great goalies. So he's starting over these great goalies. Finally on Barcelona. They got great defenders. They got Araujo. On the defense, they got Lewandowski.
If you can't contain Yamal, you're already going to lose.
Yeah, they got Pedri out the center mid, so he's such a great playmaker. They have such great playmakers on their team. All they got to do is go on long runs, and they'll find them on the run. So I do have Barcelona winning this game.
As much as it hurts to admit, I'd have to agree with you.
But we've seen stranger things.
We've seen stranger things happen in soccer, so you never know for sure until it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for joining us on the Gameplan Podcast. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good night.